Okay, so this is a quick introduction to Rhino. So you will create a new file in Rhino. Open in small objects millimeters. You can always double check with the units command millimeters. Make sure that the tolerance is 1 unit and click OK. So the user interface has a command line on top and tabs here for different commands. The standard commands here will suffice for the beginning. Over here on the right is the layer tool as well as the property tools, which will be enough for this introduction. So for the layers, this is where you can manage where you will be drawing. If you click here at this column with this tick, this means this layer is the active layer. If you were to click on the light bulb, this is where you will switch on and off the visibility of the objects in this layer, and for locking and unlocking the geometry as well. This is the viewports in which you can visualize your geometry. So to facilitate navigating, we will just create a very quick box using this command here. Click here and go to perspective view, click here again, and click here. Okay. Now what you can do is you can click on this triangle here to set on different visibility settings for the viewport. So can go to shaded. So now you can orbit in the viewport using the right mouse button. You can pan in perspective using shift and right mouse button. Similarly for top, front or right 2D views, you can use the right click to pan, and the middle scroll mouse button to zoom in and zoom out. To maximize a viewport, just double click on the top left hand corner. And to return, you will double click on the top left hand corner. If you have a geometry like this, you can select it and you can move it by dragging on these 3 arrows over here. You can click on gumball if you do not see the 3 arrows. Okay. And then you can rotate them as well using this. You can move them precisely by clicking on the arrow tip instead of dragging. And you can key in a value, say 100 mm, and it will move accordingly in that particular direction. Okay, next up will be snapping. So if we are to now maximize top view, then you can take a look here. If you don't have snap turned on, this will not be available for you. If you click this, then you can activate which snap modes you want. Okay, so essentially for the beginner drafting, we can just keep it to all of these icons here with end, near, point, mid, center, in and perspective, intersection, perspective, and tangent. Okay, so you can draw with 2 of these commands. One is the polyline. You can click here, 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 here. If you want to end your command, you can just right click, or you can press spacebar, or you can press enter. Okay, if you are to click from bottom right to top left, as long as you touch the geometry, it will select it. If you were to click on top left to bottom right, you have to cover the entire geometry in order to select it. Okay, then if these snap modes will allow you to snap to precise points, right? For example, here midpoint, and then you can draw accordingly. Okay, otherwise you can also lock in each of the planes by pressing F8 on your keyboard, or using this toggle here, auto. So F8 on the keyboard, or toggle off, toggle on. So you'll always be in these directions. Okay. You can also, when you have this particular direction fixed, you can press tab to make sure that it will not stray off, and you can then lock to a particular element that you want. For example, to this part. This is very good for alignment. So just to repeat, use the tab button and it will lock to any other portion that you would like to have. For example, here. So you will lock here, and then you can click here again. Okay, then next up we have the curve tool. You can click this, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, and you can basically trace a curve. There are also other commands to create arcs, which you can experiment with. A lot of these commands are quite user friendly because they will prompt you for what you want. Center, then the radius, and then you will have your geometry. Okay, now to start off with some simple exercise, you can try to trace a pattern. So Rhino makes it very easy for you to place images, reference images. So I'm just using a snipping tool. Create new, put this in, and then I can go to here and I can place it on this layer first. With this ticked, this is the active layer. I will Ctrl V, place it on this point, and I can even specify a dimension to this 1200, enter, and we can use the same width as the length, enter. Okay, so this will give you, by using this tool called distance, from here to here, see exactly 1200, here to here 1200. Okay, so this is not constrained because the original image was not exactly 1200, but that's okay. We will be able to scale this later on. Now this layer here that we have pasted this in is called layer 1 by default. You can double click to rename the layer, and we'll call this the reference layer. We can make this other layer active, and then now we will call this our curve layer, which we will draw on. And now I will just quickly draw over here. You will notice that this is a mirror of this unit, and this thing is a mirror of this element. So we can just start off by drawing here, tab, lock F8, here, tab, click here, click here, click here, and click here. Okay. So continue to trace. Select this to here. Select this. To here. Then this to this. This to this. This to this. To this. And here. And I can just draw a reference line here first. Then here. Sometimes if the center is not correct, you can adjust. You can select this and you can use the copy tool, COPY, and you can copy from here to here. And you can also select this, down, tab to lock, click here, click here, click here. So same thing, here, here, here. This one. And you can also use the square tool here to draw like so. Okay, so check by switching off. Okay, this looks generally like the geometry that we have. I can lock this so that I will not select my reference. Switch it off. So you can take this and then you can mirror. Type mirror, MIRROY. Select here, start point, end point. Okay, then this is your geometry. Select both, mirror again, and you will see this. So it's exactly the same. Okay, you can repeat commands, last command, by pressing spacebar again. So just now we did mirror as the last command. So instead of typing mirror again, you can just type on spacebar. Okay, so that was the completed module. But what if we want to have thickness to this? Okay, so we can use the offset tool. Offset, enter, and I can choose what I want to offset. So by default it's to one side. You can choose which side by using your mouse, or you can click on both sides and then this will be the thickness. The distance is set here by clicking here and keying in number, like for example 15. So this is the mockup for 15. Or you can also test by using true point. So this will dynamically show you the offset distance while giving you a numerical value here at the bottom left. Okay, so say for example you're happy with 10, so key in 10, and now this will lock in at 10. Okay, and I can click. So you can repeat. I can press B also for the shortcut for both sides, and you can repeat for all the necessary portions.